Advisory Board to order at 1:32 p.m. Thank you all for being here today. So let's get started with roll call. Layla, please proceed.
Sorry, I was having some issues. Okay. First, Taylor Davis.
Present.
Layla Johnson, present. Jordan Moore. Okay. Jacob Taylor.
Present.
Jeremiah Washington. Trey Maza.
Present.
Jacob Burnett.
Present.
Joella Clearly.
Present.
Sky Sykes.
Present.
And Nanu Pardo.
Present.
Okay.
One more thing, Layla, Jeremiah sent an excused absence, FYI.
Gotcha. All right, I'm gonna hand the floor back to Jacob.
All right. Do I have a motion on the floor to approve Jeremiah's excused absence or absence?
I motion to approve Jeremiah's absence.
I'll second.
And another thing, based off the schedule I sent you all, I believe Jordan is not able to come to Friday meetings. So that would automatically be excused. Yeah.
Okay. The motion has been properly motioned and properly seconded. And on to our next thing, which is the approval of minutes. So I believe you all have received a copy of the minutes from our last meeting. Are there any corrections or changes to the minutes? I do have one thing. Did you all get the opportunity to vote on excused absences in the last meeting?
I don't remember that, but I could be wrong.
I don't think so.
Okay. Last meeting I told Jordan, since she ran it, since I wasn't there, that I wouldn't be able to attend. So how would that go as far as excusing my absence? Because it's listed on the minutes as an excused absence.
The only thing I can think of off the top of my head is any absence that will happen outside of the schedule would just need to be reported to me via text or email. That's all I have up top of my head.
Okay. So are there any further corrections or changes to the minutes? If not, may I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I motion to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
The motion has been motioned and properly seconded. Now for our next thing is our annual project, which is what the nature of this meeting is about. So our first order of business is our collaboration with Twin City. And I think we need to finalize our in-person meeting details and go over a couple key points. So as far as availability, when are we available to meet with Twin City? And for that, do we want to arrange or appoint a couple of people to be in charge of outreach with Twin City to accompany Nanu, as opposed to all of us attending the in-person meeting with Twin City?
Are you suggesting setting up a line of communication just via email as opposed to only being in person?
Well, I think I was suggesting that it is in person, right? But there's a specific group that's in charge of outreach as opposed to all of us meeting with Twin City.
Oh, so like paring down the presence.
Right.
Okay. Do we want to leave that to a special committee that might be geared towards it, or are we just going to do certain members?
Um, if I remember correctly, we do have a committee that's dedicated to that kind of stuff, right? Let's see.
Are you
I would
talking
have
about
to.
like an outreach committee?
Right.
I'll look at it while Nanu has her end up, so I'll look at it while she talks.
So a few things. I spoke to Rachel, who is the executive director of Twin City. And from what I had understood previously, we were all trying to at least go to one event so that y'all could meet them and understand what's going on or what they do, all that kind of stuff. And so she's already working to see if either a Monday or a Saturday works. I didn't get people's Saturdays availability, so I told her maybe sometime midday, but if that needs to change, I could talk to her. So she's already trying to arrange that with the space. But if it's going to be less people, do let me know, as I'd already told her, like, the extent of the whole group going. Um, Other than that, there is another opportunity with them that, we can talk about later. That is also in person, but that would be more community work, which I feel like would be a good opportunity. But we can get into that later. But yeah, I was just kind of confused on that.
So my understanding from last meeting, it was that everybody would try to attend at least the first meeting because this is a project that everybody is doing. And so this will give everybody time to ask questions, talk about how you all want to, or technically what you all want to highlight within your research, and also get some answers from somebody who's a subject matter expert on this subject. And so now if we have additional meetings after that, we can talk about what it looks like to, I guess, dwindle down the numbers for additional people. But the meeting last time was discussing everybody being there because everybody's going to be a part of the project. And so because there's 5 different sectors within the project, I don't want to put the work on any one person or any group of people to have all the ideas. I want this to be a collaborative effort. And so that's my understanding of the conversations that we had. As far as the committees, there's a community project committee, public relations committee, and a government affairs committees, and you all know who you are. And so now how you all want to go about using those committees to advance your project and the discussions and the research that you all have on the project, that's for you all to decide. So I hope that clears up any confusion.
It does. Thanks for that. I missed last meeting. I tried to catch it on YouTube, but there was no recorded video last meeting.
Yeah, that was our fault. We couldn't record it for technical difficulties. So this one is definitely recorded, but we definitely couldn't record it. So that's on us.
Okay, gotcha. So, as far as last meeting, I hope you don't mind. Tell me a bit about that then. As far as the harm reduction goes, because I've seen that there was a couple decisions that were made. A majority of them I'm still trying to make sense of.
That would be for y'all as a group to discuss that.
I guess I could start. The biggest thing would be the first thing I'm working on setting up, just kind of getting the day. Sorry, my little one always tries to get in. Um, Basically, the first thing will be kind of like what they call a packing party, where we will prepare Narcan packages that they give out, which is intramuscular Narcan, not the nasal, is what they prepare. They do have nasal as well, though. And it will be like we'll have pizza and drinks, and that way you can get to know the staff, get to know the environment. It's going to be in the space where it's the Green Street Methodist Church, is where their office is. We'll be meeting inside the church area, but it's attached to the actual office. So I'm sure that, I could bring y'all there and show you how everything looks. So that was going to be kind of the first thing, so y'all can get to know about harm reduction, the work that they do, and everything like that. Further than that, I'm part of a community cleanup that they're going to be doing March 29th at, I believe it's 1:30 p.m. And I asked Rachel if it would be okay if some members here wanted to participate. She said that would be wonderful. So that could be another opportunity. That wasn't in last meeting, but I guess I'm just going to throw it in. And so with that, it would be getting to know like trying to connect this work to our colleges, how to maybe introduce some of this curriculum and that kind of stuff, and then formulate a plan on how to encourage the city to do more work surrounding this. I'm sure other people have more things. I'm just trying to remember everything.
Thanks for that. Is there any more input? Okay, so I think based off what I've heard so far, right? Our next order is to discuss when we'll be attending our first meeting, correct? And they meet every Saturday?
No, so I volunteer on Mondays, but because Rachel would have to set up a time with the church, and I looked at all of our schedules because Colbert shared it with me. It seems either Mondays or a lot of people said that they preferred Saturdays. So then I told her that as well. She said it might be a Monday, but again, it just kind of depends on the church. But I didn't get a time for people on Saturday, so I told her sometime midday, but that could change. I could always talk to her if that needs to change. But ideally, we're looking at March, sometime soon.
So for Saturdays, I believe Trey, you sent me your schedule. So what I would recommend, because I didn't get the schedule from pretty much anybody else, and if you did, I apologize if I missed it, and I probably responded. What I would recommend for you all to do, so Nanu leaves here understanding what your all schedules is. Everybody giving in this moment what your Saturday schedule is. And then when we put that in the minutes, that'll be there. But also Nanu can leave this meeting specifically knowing what everybody's schedule is. So when she goes back and volunteers on Monday, she can relay that information. That's my recommendation.
I'll go ahead and just like verbalize dates and also send it in the chat so you can have it. For me, not tomorrow, but the week after, Saturday the 8th, the 15th, and the 5th of April.
And that's a good suggestion, Trey, as far as putting it in the chat. That's a good one. So then it's in writing. So yes,
Yeah, if you also have time, like within those days, also let me know, just so I can be a little bit more specific.
That's a good point.
For me, all day. I don't have class on Saturdays in the next couple of weeks. Thank goodness.
And as you all are writing your schedules, give me a second. Taylor, since you are PR, this will be a good day, whatever day we choose. This will be a great day of getting pictures specifically based off like what we're doing, the discussions we're having, like just getting a mass set of pictures, so that like when you all do your annual project, you all have some media to put in your presentation to show the city, like specifically how you all went about gathering information within the city and within your research when it comes to harm reduction. And I can help you as far as gathering pictures as well.
And I'm definitely fine with Saturdays. It's just that we kind of have to decide on the day so I can take off work for that specific day. But Saturdays are definitely not a problem for me.
Yeah, right after this meeting, I'll email Rachel ahead of Monday to see if I can get a response before that. But I'll definitely try to do it as soon as possible because that cleanup on the 29th, like I mentioned, is also an opportunity for whoever can. It's not like this wouldn't be like a just us meeting, but I think if people want to get more involved and see other types of work, it could be an opportunity. So hopefully sooner than later.
Has everybody put their information in the chat as far as availability? Okay. All right. To make sure that we're all on the same page, Layla, could you go through everybody that you have and tell us what their availability is?
Yes. Okay. So Trey is available on March 8th, 15th, and then April the 5th, all day. Sky is available every Saturday in March despite the 22nd. Jacob Burnett is available every Saturday in March. I'm available the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th. Jacob Taylor is available the 22nd of March. And then Joella is available every Saturday despite the 29th. Does that sound right to everybody? Okay, great.
Question, Nanu. For Mondays, I know that what is her name? I keep forgetting her name.
Her name is Rachel Thornley.
Rachel. Okay. So she said that Mondays may be the day that she picks. Is there a time frame that she has?
So I tried to line it up. I gave her the times because she was like, anytime. I'm trying to see here exactly what I told her. Yeah, so I said it seems Monday from 5 to 6. I also saw that like our Friday time if need be. But said Saturdays would be the best. So I'm thinking, and she said Monday or Saturday would be best. So it'd be Monday from 5 to 6, sometime around there. Because some people like started getting available around 4:30. Some people
Mhm.
started getting available at 5:30. So that way we can kind of
So
fit
within the
everything in.
time space that we have currently. That's
Yes,
great. Okay, that makes sense.
but I'm gonna after this meeting again. I was just double checking. I'm gonna try to emphasize a Saturday because it seems like that way we're not constrained so much. Because that was like the best thing, I think Rachel and I were talking about. Like some people might want to talk more, or maybe get a tour or something. And sometimes an hour can be quite short when you're meeting in person. So
Right, that makes sense. And yeah,
gotcha.
good call, Trey. We
And
have
also,
the schedule.
guys, although Jeremiah isn't here, we can try to at least call or text him and see his availability as well. So we'll have everybody as a whole.
Yeah.
So when the emails go out, when I send like the minutes and everything, that's going to be in the emails as far as people who are not here. And so it is going to be, that's why I really try to layer my emails so you all have every information on there. It's up to you all to respond. Make sure that you're responding the information that is needed. So Jeremiah and Jordan not being here, they're going to have an opportunity to let us know when their availability is going to be as well.
Should I still go ahead though and just reach out about Saturday just since
Absolutely.
yeah, okay.
Hmm?
I have a quick question, Colbert, about the gathering photos for the media. Um, will I be will I have assistance with providing a camera to capture these photos, or will I have to provide that on my own?
So unfortunately, we don't have direct access to a camera. Layla, on the minutes, can you note the fact that I will talk to marketing team to see if the marketing team can be there as well, to like get a representative to take pictures. So I can find some assistance on that. Typically, I use my phone. Like when I don't know if you all have saw it yet. Neither have you all seen you all's newsletter? Okay, I'll show you all before the meeting ends. But like when I get pictures, I usually take it on my phone. And so I'll talk to the marketing team and see if we can have a representative of the marketing team come if we do it on a Saturday. Outside of that, it would have to be on the phone because we don't have a camera within for our department. That's strictly for the marketing team. And if you want to use my work phone the day of, I can bring it and you can do that.
Okay, that's good. I have no problem using my phone. I just didn't know if like everything had to be like professionally, like I had to
That's
take.
fair. Mm-hmm. Yeah, understandable.
All right. So next, I believe last meeting. we broke up into groups, correct? For the social determinants of harm reduction. There was like subgroups that were created. And so with that in mind, I believe we need to check in on our research progress for those social determinants of the harm reduction. So would each team provide a brief update on their findings so far, if there's any findings so far?
I'd be happy to kick that off. That works for everybody. Okay, I just did some, basic searching, then kind of distilled it down into six main pillars of this individual um social determinant of health, which was pretty interesting to find out that it was like a widely accepted matrix for risk management. I just hadn't known that um I don't know, framework existed before. But my big sections were in the reduction side, access to safe and supportive spaces in metropolitan areas, availability in healthcare and harm reductive services for housing, housing stability and quality in terms of zoning and access, the transportation infrastructure in an environment, and then actual environmental safety with crime prevention, excuse me, and then access to sustainable food and clean water. And so there were different things within there that were detailed, such as like well-designed neighborhoods with safe public spaces and supervised consumption sites for or at harm reduction centers to reduce overdose deaths. I know that's a program that has been piloted in larger cities. I'm not really sure what the specific existence is of it in the Piedmont. Um, Neighborhoods with accessible healthcare clinics, needle exchange programs, mental health services that are public free of charge. There's also some existence of like mobile health units, which is pretty cool. Um, Seeing obviously that stable shelter is a massive, you know, important part of keeping stability, and then infrastructure, zoning, making sure that things are safe, accessible, lack of sidewalks, that kind of thing. Um, and then, kind of in the same vein as the harm reduction services, violence prevention programs, and yeah, those are kind of the main things. And then, organizations that locally kind of work in that vein is obviously the Twin City Harm Reduction Collective, and Frost, which I think we touched on last month about the Forsyth Regional Opioid and Substance Use Team. And then there's a larger statewide one that does have an impact in Winston-Salem for the North Carolina Harm Reduction Coalition. And then Wake has a substance use prevention program, I believe at the Baptist. Those were some like very broad findings I had.
Thanks for that. Is there anyone else?
Joella and I have something. I'm gonna share my screen because we had
Wait,
created.
Sky,
Oh,
quick question. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Now
You're
you have
fine.
your hand is up. Did you have a question about what Trey was saying?
I just had something to add, that I think like maybe if people had questions, it could maybe connect with everything. I'm actually going to be meeting with Frost, like the entire collective, on the 10th of March. So if there was any specific findings in your research or anything that you felt like maybe you had questions or anything like that, or a specific organization outside of Twin City that's still kind of local that maybe you had questions about, please let me know. Because I'll be meeting all of them soon and attending those meetings more often. So I just thought I'd put that out there.
I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen because Joella and I had like a little presentation just to have the information into one cohesive thing. So when we get ready to work on like the nitty-gritty details of the project, it'll just be here for access. So let's see.
Let me know if you can't share your screen. I think I gave you access, but there's perfect.
Can y'all see? Okay. So it's basically harm reduction and exploring the social and community context regarding it. And throughout, we're just going to talk about so what social and community context is, how it relates to harm reduction, data specific to Winston-Salem, what North Carolina has done to promote harm reduction programs and services, and then the call to action that we'll work on as a group, but this is just regarding the social and community aspect of it. So social and community context is one of the 5 social determinants of health. The Network for Public Health Law describes it as the determinant as the environment where people spend their lives and the relationships made within said environments. So basically where you are and the people that are surrounding you. And then how it relates to harm reduction is because social and community engagement is critical when producing harm reduction programs and services. Because one of the reasons it's so proactive are the people surrounding it. And according to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, formulating ways to connect with those who use drugs can prevent overdose and positively influence the sectors of well-being. And then the why does this leave this positive impact is because using the community to build relationships with drug users and advocates for harm reduction can provide education for everyone. And this education it has the power to save lives. That's why the programs are here. And they also express the benefit of community-based harm reduction programs in which they meet people where they are on their own terms, may serve as a pathway to additional health and social services, including additional preventional treatment and recovery services. And Joella will take you through the data of it all.
Yes, so looking at the data, I prepared a couple of charts. These are pulled from Unseen Patterns. I'm not sure if you guys came across this website while you were doing your own research, but it's in conjunction with MAP Forsyth and Forsyth County Health and Human Services. The data was all collected from 2021 through 2023, a lot of it from emergency response teams. And I believe the most recent publication was from the past year, so 2024. In this first chart, you'll see that 18 to 24-year-olds in Forsyth County are most likely to experience overdose from unknown drugs and substances. Often, this is kind of difficult to tell because, again, they're relying on emergency first responders. So this could be that the person who called in the call couldn't specify, or the emergency workers themselves couldn't determine that. The next highest primary suspected drug overdose for 18 to 24-year-olds is alcohol. And then that's closely followed behind with opioids. Among the 18 to 24-year-old demographic in Forsyth County, males are almost twice as likely to overdose as females. That's deeply troubling, although I will add a caveat that across the board, for different age groups besides 18 to 24-year-olds, men actually account for 2/3 of reported overdoses and women for 1/3. So this is actually a little bit closer than some of the other demographics that we looked at. And then next, we're going to look at what has been done in North Carolina. So these are some efforts that are local to North Carolina, and then we kind of get more local, even onto the campus that Sky and I and Nanu are also at Salem College. So North Carolina provides many syringe services that help decrease the probability of overdose death. The one specific to Forsyth County is Twin City Harm Reduction Collective, which we know a lot about thanks to Nanu. They offer peer-based training, mobile site, and a fixed site. So they do a lot of community outreach, as we thankfully already know through Nanu's connections. The North Carolina Harm Reduction Coalition provides many programs and services related to harm reduction. These include information to legislative advocacy, referrals for drug treatment, and training on overdose recognition and reversal. There's also SSDP. This is Students for Sensible Drug Policy, which has a branch here in Forsyth County. They take harm reduction on directly. They do things like testing drug samples that people bring in to tell them what's in their sample to hopefully reduce some of those unknown substance related overdoses and injuries. This leads to people hopefully making more informed decisions to drug use in a way that is safe and not stigmatized. So FROST, which we've already brought up a couple of times, is Forsyth Regional Opioid and Substance Use Team. This is a collective of representatives from over 80 different community agencies and community members. They aim to educate, provide prevention, promote harm reduction, and remove barriers to access and treatment, as well as reducing stigma as well. On the Salem College campus, Salem currently offers student leaders like RAs, residential assistants, and orientation leaders harm reduction training. And during their training, they're given single-use naloxone kits. It's unclear whether this training is offered to all students, and that's something that we wanted to follow up with so that hopefully students who are interested but aren't currently serving as leadership roles will be able to become involved in. And then up next is what more can be done. This is our call to action. So this actually transitions pretty perfectly from what we've already heard from other folks, Trey and Nanu especially. But on Frost's website, they list many Forsyth County and Winston-Salem organizations that currently partner with them. And at present, the Winston-Salem City Council is not listed as an active partner. And of course, that's assuming that the information on that website is correct. I know sometimes, especially with smaller collectives, it's difficult to keep up with that because a lot of people carry a lot of different jobs. We believe that reaching out to Frost regarding future partnership is a good first step, given that they are community partners that are actively involved with this, and we're looking at community context. It's good to have a handle on what's already being done in the community so that any action that the city is able to take will be in line with the work that's already being done. Furthermore, Frost houses the SSDP, the Students for Sensible Drug Policy. This would allow CAB and the students we represent through the Winston-Salem area to have a more active role in harm prevention throughout Forsyth County.
I can certainly, when I meet with them, kind of talk to them about, maybe like if, they've had communication with the city and everything like that, and maybe talk directly with the SSDP. That would be awesome.
Awesome, Nanu, thanks.
Love the presentation. Great job, guys. Great job, y'all.
Thanks for that. I appreciate everyone's research. Before we move on to the next steps, does anyone have any additional input, concerns, or ideas related to the annual project?
I do need you and Layla to tell me where you all want to be when it comes to the remaining slots.
I looked at it and I'm interested in the economic stability group. So
Okay, I can do that one too.
Okay.
Any additional input, concerns, or ideas related to the annual project? All right, moving on. Mr. Colbert, Ms. Tabitha, do you have any staff reminders to bring before the board?
So one of the things that we put for, we talked about last meeting was an internship opportunity. And so our apprenticeship opportunity, I definitely wanted to put that out there again to see if anybody was interested in that. I'll put that in the email again to just remind you of that. I do need an answer. What's today? Friday? I would need an answer by Wednesday. So that'll be March 5th. Yes, Nanu?
I have a question. I actually am doing the internship with y'all in your DEI and HR department in fall, but would this internship be in summer or would it also be in fall?
This one will be now. So this one will be
Okay.
separate. This one will specifically be about grant opportunities, what to look at when it comes to grants, how to write a grant. You'll get pretty much over-encompassing thing about what it looks like and what the department that runs grants, what they do.
I would certainly be interested because I'm actually doing grant work right now.
Okay.
On a personal, I'm actually writing grants for Twin Cities, so that
Great.
would be a great opportunity for me.
Great. Great. And if anybody else is interested, please. Oh, who was about to say something?
That was me. Just letting everybody know about the Student Banquet Award being rescheduled until next month. And if anybody is still interested in volunteering there as well, that would
Could
be
we get a quick
opportunity. And I can,
overview of the event again and the new date?
1 second, let me go to my email because I do not have the date, but I can get it in 1 minute.
The date would be March 27th.
March 27th, yes. And is it the same time, Colbert?
That's my understanding.
The 6:30 p.m.
That's my understanding. I can finalize that and put that in the email for you all as well. But that's my understanding.
Okay, just wanted to throw that out there as another opportunity for someone.
And I wanted to thank everybody that came to the NDO opportunity this morning and was a part of that. Thank you all for being a part of that. Nanu, Eleanor did email you. I know you talked about being a translator, so she did email you about that. And so I'll CC it on that email, so I'll see how the progress goes. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask her, not me, because she's the expert. I'm just the assistant. So thank you for coming, everybody that came. I believe it was just Trey. Thank you, Trey. Thank you, Trey. Appreciate that. And I believe that is all the announcements for me. I do want to emphasize this research for the project going on. I want to again thank you, Sky and Joella, for the work that you all have put in the initial phase that you all did. Y'all did phenomenal work as far as the research, as far as the content, and as far as the structure. So thank you all for that. I want to emphasize the aspect that when we have the meeting, which will be the second Monday, let me double check that. The second Monday of March, which will be March 10th. I do want everybody to come and have an understanding of what your project is going to be. I want us to make sure that when we meet with Rachel, that we have an understanding of what we are discussing so that we can transition that into strategy. When we are going to potentially present this to the city of Winston-Salem, I want you all to be on your best when it comes to the presentation, the information, and what you're specifically asking for. This is the type of experience that's going to help you understand what it looks like to operate in the real world, right? When you're growing up and you have a job, this is what, results in action looks like. And so by next meeting, everybody needs to have information presented to the team. Right. So I know that, okay, Joella and Sky, you all check, right? But we have 4 other sections. I need a lot more structured understanding of what you're doing. Right. So please, please, please make sure that by March 10th, and that's going to be in the email and that's going to be in the minutes, by March 10th, you have an understanding of the information that you are researching that highlights both the city of Winston-Salem and North Carolina. So I do want to emphasize that because I am going to expect that during the meeting, and the meeting is going to be in person. So March 10th is going to be in person. And I believe that's it for me. Nanu, I will let them know that you are interested. Go ahead.
I had a quick question. I'm so sorry. March 10th, at what time would that meeting be?
5, I believe. That's the
5. Okay, sorry. I just double checking. I just knew I had some things, but perfect. Yeah. Do I need to email you my resume?
Yes,
Is
please.
that correct? Okay, I'll do that.
Yep. And Layla, please put that in the minutes as well, so I'm held accountable by that. And that's all the staff updates for me. And I don't know if I believe that's everything for Tabitha as well, but if she has anything, she'll let y'all know.
Thanks for that. Are there any further questions or concerns? All right, if there's no further questions or concerns, may I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I motion to adjourn this meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, the motion has been properly motioned and properly seconded. This meeting is now adjourned. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate y'all. See y'all March 10th.
Have a good day.
Yeah. All right.